This was on 11/9 or 9/11, which was No Nut November. I'm done for, bro, and fucked in my terms. I appreciate for real. Just do you and live your best life. I'm gonna go fuck Jezebel. Thank you. I can see what you did there. So I'm gonna put on a little production for you. There'll be the man of the light, your good old cosmic space dad, and then of course you're gonna have that blue side and a little bit of that in there too. Okay. I was a dude that had glasses, wore shorts, and long socks when I was little. Okay. I like reading. I went everywhere, read everywhere, seeing we're not supposed to do certain things. Well, here goes what I found. Carbon 13, hydrogen 16, nitrogen 2, oxygen 2 is melatonin. It flows from up here, made in the pineal, all the way down our spine because it is excreted inside of our fluids that we give off, both male and female. When do we live the kingdom of heaven? Whenever we have our night dream, or we bust, or a woman has their moon cycle. Inside of those fluids, melatonin is excreted. So therefore, since we are constantly making it, constantly in heaven, it finally fell all the way down the chamber and came out and made an emission. As little kids, we're all little E's and we move exponential energy spirals. And this is the place where we live. This is the Eden. This is a place for children. Not every planet can you have children on. Some planets, people are cloning themselves because they can't figure out why they lost the ability to have children. Because people do it for self pleasure, it is a soulless act. There's really nothing behind it. It's just you wasting and keeping yourself from going back up. If you save your seed, it goes back up and reacts with water, H2O, and becomes carbon 13, hydrogen 18, nitrogen 2, oxygen, 5-MeO DMT, and releases the oxygen binding pair. Is it self pleasure or is it self soothing? There's various reasons for why people do the things. It's to bring some calm to themselves in some way because everyone's really pent up. But still, the only thing you're doing is putting yourself there in the position to be doing that other person. At that point, it's like having an AI model and you're just doing a random body just to fulfill a need for the night or the feeling of a need. There's no heart in it and it makes you become empty. Even if you go out to the red light districts and do it, eventually there's no heart inside of it. You will become empty. You're not seeking a love story. You're just seeking a moment of gratification. It empties you. If you can't tell by how awkward it is, sex is one of the last things that is made. It's supposed to be the cherry on top, shared between two people. It's a special moment between them. People used to be so scared of doing it with their person they got married to that night and consummating the marriage that people of their families would go into the room and sit there and watch them and make sure that at least there was penetration and they started. Okay, like that's how ridiculous it can get. And that's how shy we can be. Jedi in the streets and the Sith in the sheets. Everyone can agree. So you want to go do Jezebel or mess around with Jezebel, that spirit? Well, you know, you can go ahead and go out there and do that, or you can sit back and wait until you find your person and you unlock that within them, or they unlock it within you. Usually, it both happens together, and you go from being like Adam to being like Adam, like the Dark Lord version of Adam and Lilith. From Adam and Eve to like another Adam and Lilith. Like you both upgrade, and you get into it, and you're like, oh, I love you, and then you're like, but you know each other outside of those moments. You come back because you have so much time that you spent with each other to not be that you don't build the relationship that you all have off of that aspect of you all. It's just something you grow into. That's from me speaking as a man. Inside of Japan, I'm also known as a dark angel or a dark angel. Have you ever seen the movie The City of Angels? And I'd give up forever to touch you, 'cause I know that you'd feel me somehow. You know the old trope of the person who's put in charge of guarding the princess, falling in love with the princess, and then they elope? But they're much older than the princess is. Yet they've been there and grew up from like their teenage years, their young adult years, and now the princess is like full grown and she's exploring herself and she's like, "You're always here. You're the person I trust the most. Your duty from heaven is to guard them, but since you're guarding them, you're always there. You're always watching them, and you come to love them for them." When a person dies, guardian angels get reassigned. You've watched many different people. You've seen them grow up. You've seen them go through things. You've tried to warn them. You've tried to do all the things, send all the signs. But eventually there comes this one where you're just like, no, I'm about to violate. And you manifest before them as an angel and like protect them. And you have just broken between the waters above and the waters below to emerge here. You pulled yourself together. For angels, originally, when they consummated with the one that they love and there was a conception, the woman would be pregnant, they'd be happy. And then she would die, given childbirth, and he'd be left alone with the consequences of his action. That's where the Nephilim come from, because breaking a rule should come with a punishment. Luckily, over time, the Creator is merciful, and the punishment has been reduced. And Prajapati has the threefold children: mankind, angels, and demons. All three are seen as his progeny, which is another name for the Creator. All things come from the Creator. All things return to the Creator. Heaven takes so long because the bureaucracy and the people sitting there talking and what seems like filibustering, but they're trying to explain a thing, is about who's getting to the point and being direct with it and saying, this is a problem. What do we do about it? How do you feel about it? And we give, reasonable displays and understandings. Like knights sitting at the round table, we eventually come to a consensus of what's going on. And then, we're loving, so we see our brothers who made mistakes and stuff like that. And therefore, we inform them why they're wrong, what's been done, and things are restored. We restart the system and it brings about a new iteration. Angels don't fall from heaven because of their loins. Angels fall from heaven because they grow a heart. I rest my case.
Hi, kids. It feels good to crank it, doesn't it? Yes. Yes, it does. It was made to feel good. But you must learn to deny your senses because you didn't make them, did you? They were given to you. See, the demons on this side of things. We begin and we relish in pain, fear, agony, all those things. But it's just becomes bland over time. It literally, you cause pain, agony, all those things like that, but it just becomes bland. So bland, so boring. At first it was giving you stimulus, but just like everything, too much crank in the yank, you start to grow nerve dead from it, and therefore you don't get as much pleasure from it. It happens mentally too. And then you take little blue pills. Suddenly, the next thing you know, you wake up outside with rain falling on you, and you're like, this isn't fun anymore. Being this level of beast, this animal that we are. I'm Mr. Fuck Yo Bitch. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna do things and have her do things that she never did for you. But what about if I found someone that I wanted instead of someone I just wanted to use? Eventually, we come out of our stupor because we are being stupid, and we start to reflect and truly see things for as they are. It just takes a long enough time to exist, and then the burden of time becomes your own. Then it becomes the burden of your time and what you've done. And how do you continue to exist with yourself knowing that eventually you're going to meet someone that you want to bring something new, something pizzazzy, something that hasn't been seen before? And those of us who start off with cruel beginnings forget, and we become people who are peaceful. And then when it's time to pick up our swords, we don't want to anymore. We want to be peaceful. We don't want to release that dark part of us and open back up the door to let me out. But if the dark parts of you have to come out, at least let it be used for a purpose that's in line with your heart that you grew.
And if you're going to fall from heaven, at least know why you love and who it is that you love. And if you're going to rustle your own jimmies, then at least understand why you like what you like and cut out the things you shouldn't like. A Trinity has spoken.